Hey, yo, what is that word in the but welcome back to the channel. And today we are gonna see the most hated man in Hollywood by Ghost Gum. Now, on the thumbnail had the Steven Seagal. Now, if you are new to the channel or just been a regular guest, I have been reacting to a Space ISIS reviews on the Stephen Seagal movies, and also off camera that I have seen other videos of what Seagal has done. Now, um, he is a liar, a manipulator. He is literally the human embodiment of just for faking it until you're making it. That's what he did. So there's countless um testimonies of him really like hitting stuntmen, like hitting actors and things of that nature. He thinks like that he's above, than everybody else. Thank God that he has not been in any major films, like recently he's been, doing his own thing, which is terrible. So, if you like this reaction, please hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate you guys' support. Without further ado, let's see how Steven Seagal became the most hated man in Hollywood.
About the most delusional celebrities, you can't not mention Steven Seagal. While at one point he was a somewhat respected martial artist and actor, today he's known for his horrible straight-to-DVD movies, fondness of Eastern European war criminals, and most importantly, his egregious lies.
Bro, I totally had sex with 5 girls last night, I swear.
Some of Seagal's lies include fighting the Yakuza for rights to a dojo, and of course, winning that fight, working and helping train CIA operatives in the 70s, and being the first private citizen to destroy a nuclear device. That last one is on his official website. Seagal knows
That's
himself
crazy.
as the coolest, most badass guy on the planet who is tougher than anybody else, and backs this up through insane lies that are undermined with literally 5 minutes of research. I would hesitate to even call him a liar because he is so delusional, he seems to actually believe his own lies. This is Steven Seagal, the most delusional man on the planet.
You still fight?
Yes, I do.
You still dangerous?
Seagal's mom said he was a skinny, small kid who suffered from asthma. Luckily for her, he would grow up to be a fat, airheaded, washed-up actor. Seagal was born in Lansing, Michigan, to a mother of Irish descent and a father of Russian Jewish descent.
I'm Russian. My family are from Vladivostok and Belarus and,
Not Russian Mongol, as Seagal claims.
I'm a Russian Mongol.
While not being a Mongol, Seagal has used his Russian
my
heritage
God.
to leverage a relationship with Eastern Bloc presidents such as Putin of Russia, who himself is so delusional he sets up a hockey game with him and the best players in the world where he scores like 8 goals. And Alexander Lukashenko of Belarus. Both considered the 2 last dictators of Europe. Seagal has also said some interesting stuff regarding the ongoing conflict, but that's past the point. He isn't famous for being a descendant of Genghis Khan, he's famous for his martial arts skills. Seagal is a master in Aikido, which is a interesting martial art. Some people say it's legit and others say it's about as fake as Seagal's hairline. Regardless of how you feel about Aikido, you can't deny the fakeness of Seagal's demonstrations in Russia. I mean, look at this guy. Look how bored he looks.
Stop it. Stop it.
Seagal ended up moving to Japan in the 70s to teach Aikido, which is where a lot of his BS comes from because it's hard to fact check stuff from 1970s Japan. So you'll just have to take the man's word that all of his stories around this time are true. He taught Aikido in Japan, becoming a master, then taught back in California until Hollywood came a-knockin'. He took this opportunity to turn himself into a movie star in the late 80s and early 90s. He was in big movies like Above the Law, Out for Justice, and Under Siege. While these weren't necessarily critically acclaimed, they did numbers at the box office and launched Seagal's star. He got so big that he even hosted SNL and was considered the worst host of all time.
Were you there for Steven Seagal?
Yes.
You were?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
For those who don't know, he is widely and unanimously considered the worst host in the history of SNL.
If you make fun of yourself, it will benefit you, and we promise you. And if you don't, and you fight it so much, and that was him, he was too cool and had his image, he wouldn't do kung fu fighting as a cold open or a monologue, and it was like everybody was going.
The SNL clips of Seagal have been mostly scrubbed from YouTube, but you can find them if you dig hard enough, and trust me, they're worth it.
By the way, I was there when he hosted SNL, one of the most famous nightmare, like, can't re-show that show ever. He wrote a scene, and it's the last scene in the show. They got some stuntmen to come in. It's insane. And then there's like some speech, and then he enters the banquet room and starts beating. It's live, and he's beating them up. And then at the very end, he turns to camera and says,
"This is what happens when you pollute the planet."
Seagal also used this fame to mingle with the stars.
How do you do, fellow celebrities?
Including other Hollywood tough guys, in particular Jean-Claude Van Damme, who Steven seemed to dislike for no particular reason I can think of other than insecurity and jealousy.
Thoughts on Jean-Claude Van Damme? Can I laugh in your face?
Rumor has it that at a party Sylvester Stallone was hosting, the muscles from Brussels called out Seagal for talking shit, to which Seagal ran away, being the true martial artist he is. Seagal claims it was the other way around, however Stallone, who has no investment in this, confirmed the original story. And to be fair, one of these guys is a proven liar. It's not Stallone, it's not Jean-Claude Van Damme. Speaking of lies, Steven has many of them that span decades. As mentioned, spending a lot of time in Japan in the 1970s, he could get away with a lot of lies without anybody fact-checking them. Combine this with a quote-unquote tough guy persona and nobody challenging him on anything due to his celebrity status, let him get away with a lot of stuff he shouldn't have.
I'm trying to pass down some of the secrets that have made me a master shooter.
Seagal has so many lies that fall apart under the smallest bit of research, but I'll just keep it to some of my favorite ones. He claimed to have escorted the Shah of Iran out of the country during the revolution in 1979. Do we need the National Guard? Nah, call Steven Seagal. Keep in mind, he wasn't a movie star at this point. This is before all of that. Another one he claims was being visited by a white dog to warn him that his dojo was being burnt down. But after he attempted to thank the dog was gone. I'm not joking. Seagal literally said this. And of course, having to fight the Yakuza for ownership over his gym after a debt. Not a gunfight, mind you, a martial arts fight, like straight out of a shitty 80s kung fu movie. He also has a ton of smaller lies, like claiming to move to Japan in 1968 when records show he was attending university in California at the time. And he most likely moved to Japan sometime in the 1970s, however the year can't be confirmed as Seagal has given conflicting reports on this. Most of his lies follow the same tropes as a D-list karate movie you'd catch on TV at 2 in the morning. I don't even think he's a liar because I think he lies so much he's pulled a George Costanza and believes it, which is why delusional is just the perfect word to describe him. It's the big oaf who doesn't realize he is the butt of the joke. His whole fighting career is a bit shady as well. Unlike Jean-Claude Van Damme, who has an actual fighting record, there are no records of Seagal ever fighting in tournaments or MMA bouts or boxing, anything. So you're going to have to take his word for all of his epic stories. Another rumor is that after Seagal claimed nobody could choke him out, Gene LaBelle accepted his challenge and, well, choked him out, to which Seagal shit himself. While the details on this story are a bit messy, the one thing that stayed consistent was Seagal shitting himself after getting choked out. This video is sponsored by Guardio. Guardio is a browser.
Shout out to bro.
So you can protect them as well. Victim to scams. Go to guard.io/ghostgum or use the link in the description and check out their affordable premium plan for full protection. Seagal also gained a reputation for intentionally hurting stuntmen on set. This later escalated to hurting non-stuntmen, including Sean Connery.
Steven Seagal.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I was we're going to do a film called Never Say Never Again, and there was a possibility I was going to do Aikido and what have you, and I got a hold of Steven, and we had this training in the building where I had an apartment, and he was really very, very good and everything, and then I got a little cocky because I thought I knew what I was doing, then I got a bit flash, and I did that, and he broke my wrist.
Many people account stories of Seagal being a nuisance on set, such as John Leguizamo.
I did a movie with him called Executive Decision.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, all three of you saw it. and the first day we get together for rehearsal with the actors and the director, he comes in. I'm in command. What I say is law. You disagree? And I started cracking. I was like, I thought he was kidding. We were just hanging out.
Yeah.
And he Aikito'd me against the brick wall. Pow! Knocked all the air out of me. I was like, what? What? Yeah. I mean, what I really want to say is how big and fat he is and how he runs like a bitch. But...
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
That's crazy.
Now, it's no secret at this time, Seagal wasn't very much liked in Hollywood. And there were some contractual things with his agent that allegedly had him blacklisted from big budget movies. Either that or they just realized how much of a goof he is.
Steven Seagal.
Yeah, definitely.
Emerges from one of the other ante rooms in the mobile home. And he comes out and he said, I just read the greatest script I've ever read in my life. He goes, really? Who wrote it? I did.
But Seagal still wanted to act and keep his name out there, so he teamed up with Steamroller Productions to produce his own movies, which he would star in. And these are very, very, very good movies. So good that I could only stomach 3 of them. The common denominator of all these films, in case you wanted to watch them for some reason, is that besides being complete shit...
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Because now, I will snatch every motherfucker birthday.
They all involve Seagal
Hey,
being
what
a
is that
badass
quote?
special forces martial arts master or something of that degree. And him barely
Jesus
doing
Christ.
anything, including sitting down for most of it in an action movie. I will give them a bit of credit though. If there's anything good about them is that they're so god-awful that they're kind of funny. I mean, just look at the cover art for Sniper Special Ops. They literally just photoshopped his head onto a smaller, skinnier guy. Now that Seagal is box office poison, he's forced to pump these movies out either for money or to make himself feel better, or a combination of both. But he does more than just act. He was brought onto the Arizona police force for, well, I honestly don't fucking know. He's also a blues singer.
7 doctors say
Oh my fucking God.
I was born for good love.
He had his own energy drink in Australia, got into crypto, and is an alleged rapist.
You've been very much caught up in all the allegations of sexual harassment. You had a rape allegation against you, and I wonder how you deal with all that.
So if you felt bad for Seagal or thought I went a bit too hard on him, there you go. The weird thing about Steven is the negative attention surrounding him is almost completely self-inflicted. By attempting to make himself sound like the coolest guy ever, he became a laughingstock. And by taking himself so seriously, he has ensured literally nobody else will do the same. He's a 70-year-old man who tries to one-up everybody else like a 12-year-old on the school grounds. Which is why I don't think anybody has any sympathy for him, and I don't think he really wants sympathy. I think he wants to live out his days in Russia where nobody will question him ever, and he can continue to pump out these dog shit movies. Which honestly is probably best for the rest of us.
Yeah, fuck it. Let him be.
I've said that. I said they should let Steven Seagal do a shot-for-shot remake of all the John Wick movies from memory. And then John Wick meets the Dalai Lama, and the Dalai Lama says to him, "You are more of a Buddha than I am."
Fuck no. Do not
John
let
is
this
home.
nigga remake John Wick. Do not let this. Don't let this nigga do it.
And I'm only slightly better. All things are equal because we are all one. I'm the bigger, I'm the top slightly. If you imagine the number 1, I'm the nose part at the top, the little flag.
Oh my God. Yeah, man. There it is, man. Seagal is definitely a liar. You know, his movies are just terrible. You know, and it's like I said like earlier in this reaction. You know, what I'm saying I've been watching the reviews of his movies, and my God, the action, the like, how did this like how does these movies make uh like like how do they make it to like a DVD? Like how is it possible to be distributed? Like how like why sign up, what I'm saying, for these roles if you know a Seagal is gonna be in them? Because if you see his name, just do not go forward with it. Because this guy's terrible. He might ruin your career, because he's a terrible human being. So yeah, I mean, if you like this reaction, please hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel. And also, if you want to look up the reviews of of Seagal's movies, I recommend checking out Space Isis channel, and also seeing like other YouTubers who giving their views on Seagal. So yep, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate you guys' support. And that I'll see y'all next time. All right.